Hyzant has learned of the salt crystals. Minister Exham of the Saintly Seven wastes no time in mustering his army, which now marches on the Grand Norzelian mines. Elsewhere, Gustadolf amasses his own forces at Twins Gate in anticipation of the war to come. All eyes are on Glenbrook, where Roland and Serenoa's pronouncement could touch off a battle for the soul of Norzelia. After much deliberation, Roland makes his way to Castle Wolffort to inform Serenoa of the decision that now weighs heavy on his heart.
70 videos in. I am Lava Captain 2000, the devil on Lord Serenoa Wolffort's shoulder, guiding him through the world of Norzelia. In the last episode, we completed the morality route of Chapter 15. Right? Yes, the morality route of Chapter 15. Seeing our father off and unlocking our 29th playable character, Milo UL. With only one playable character left to unlock, we march towards the end game with the entire conviction setting laid out before us. All except for one. And with that in mind, let us buckle in silence as we listen to the decisions that each of the three other main characters will receive Serenoa. I shall be quiet.
I appreciate you coming all this way, Roland.
I was the one who asked for your time, so it is only natural I make the journey. I wish to tell you that I finally made up my mind.
And I would hear your decision if you were willing to share it with me.
I've long pondered over the one thing that Norzelia needs most. I thought back on the Salt Iron War. 30 years have passed, yet the root of our conflict remains the same. Each nation still thinks only of itself, wishing to fill its coffers even at the expense of others. But who bears the brunt of such a war?
The people.
Exactly so. The avarice of the ruler is an existential threat to their loyal subjects.
And yet without that wealth, the people suffer just as much. They languish in poverty.
This much is obvious. But there can be no winner without a loser. Remove one, and you necessarily remove the other. If we achieve equality, we achieve peace.
And how do you propose we achieve? No. No, surely you don't mean...
Yes. The goddess's teachings. All can live as equals under the goddess. An authority greater than any king. The model nation was in front of us all along, Serenoa. The holy state of Hyzant. I have decided that we must give the salt crystals in the Grand Norzelian mines to Hyzant.
And in so doing, you'll give them control of all Norzelia.
Exactly. There will be no more squabbling over salt. Norzelia will know eternal peace at last.
Unequal peace, surely. One built on the backs of a people like the Roselle, if not the Roselle themselves.
I am not blind to that fact. But so few will suffer for the good of so many. Nothing in this world is perfect, Serenoa. The sacrifice of the few for the good of the many. It's the only clear answer, and one I would give every time I were asked.
Submitting to the goddess will rob you of your kingship.
So be it. My crown. My pride. They're but small prices to pay for peace.
You are truly prepared to throw it all away.
Join me, Serenoa. Let us unite Norzelia under the Holy State.
Roland, this is quite sudden.
I understand. Pray, take all the time you need. I expect Frederica will want nothing to do with this plan, seeing as it forsakes her people. I am already mourning the rift this may cause between you, but I shall not be swayed. This will be my final act as Glenbrook's king.
King Roland's anguish plays plainly across his face. It pains me to see him so tortured.
I am not surprised. The future of our kingdom, to say nothing of the entire continent, rests upon his shoulders.
Pray tell, what do you intend to do about the salt crystals?
In truth, I cannot decide. Salt is too precious to be hoarded. We've a duty to share it with the people, which is...
Where the difficulty lies, yes. The source makes that all too clear. Salt lies at the heart of every war in Norzelia.
Would that the boundless salted sea of Rosellan legend still existed. We'd have no need of conflict if there were a source of salt for all.
My love, if I may, the discovery of the salt crystals has made two things plain to me. The first is that my mother spoke true in the legend she passed on to me.
And the other is that the goddess's teachings are nothing more than a lie built to constrain your people.
Just so, we are guilty of nothing. Yet the Roselle languish in the source, where they are looked down upon and forced to work until they die. Entire generations lost, countless lives given to Hyzant's cruelty. Cruelty created to justify Hyzant's own avarice and lust for power.
Such is the ugly lie at the heart of their teachings.
One revealed by a crystal of the mineral they hold so dear. The time has come, Serenoa. The Roselle must be freed. The salt crystals have brought us to the brink of war. We can harness this unrest, incite the Roselle to rise up and rebel against their captors.
I am with you. Believe me, I am. But you make it sound so...
Simple. Yes, I know. But the suffering of my people is so distant for everyone else. We can no longer wait for someone to do the right thing. Help isn't coming. Why else would my own mother incite rebellion? We are alone.
I swear to you, none of this feels distant to me. The Roselle live in my domain. I am betrothed to you, my dear. It couldn't feel any closer.
And I thank the stars that I have you by my side. I do. In truth, that's why I think this time will be different. Why I'll be able to accomplish what my mother could not.
I agree. But the risk is immense. Suppose we succeed, what then? Hyzant will not let us go quietly.
Of course not.
And when that time comes, you can lead the Roselle to Centralia, just as your mother wrote about in the book she left behind. Beyond the Great Falls and the Falk's domain at the end of the Norzelia River, the ancestral home of the Roselle.
But that's just a legend.
We've already found one legend to be rooted in truth. Perhaps this one is as well. And if not, at least you'll be safe from harm.
I doubt Benedict will share our feelings, though. Abandoning all we've built to embark on a journey fraught with danger in search of a legend. Yet no matter how perilous the path ahead, I would happily walk it at your side.
I trust you understand what a monumental effect the discovery of these salt crystals will have on Norzelia's history. Whatever course of action we choose will determine whether House Wolfort leaves a legacy in that history, or is expunged from it.
How would you proceed, Benedict?
I would do all I could to keep it from falling into Hyzant's hands. They already control the source. With the crystals in hand, they will solidify their grip on the realm and in time dominate it. The siren song of a false equality under their goddess shall blanket the land, claiming every domain and its people.
Even though they count me among the Saintly Seven.
Even then, for that matters little when the equality they espouse is dictated by the goddess, or should I say, the Hierophant. In the end, they will have the same life and death control over all Norzelia that they now hold over the Roselle.
And our wounds from the battle with Esfrost have only begun to heal. Hyzant will destroy us if we wage war against them in our current state.
But they stand little chance against us if we ally with Esfrost.
Ally with Esfrost? Are you of sound mind, Benedict?
Quite. Think about it for a moment. Esfrost wants nothing more than to loosen Hyzant's grip. They will go to war if it means control of the salt crystals.
Our interests are broadly aligned, yes, but...
Esfrost has been building toward precisely that purpose for some time now.
You speak of the Death Knell, the weapon that Cordelia mentioned.
Precisely. A weapon capable of reducing the goddess's shield to rubble, leaving Hyzant's capital ripe for the taking. Without that weapon, we cannot win. You need only say the word, and I shall convince Esfrost to join our side.
I appreciate your candor, Benedict, and I do not doubt you could secure Esfrost's cooperation. But I fear the harder fight is within our own domain. King Roland's heart will not be easily won.
I bid you listen closely and calmly to what I'm about to ask.
From whence this somber tone?
Do you believe King Roland is fit to rule?
What are you implying?
Decorum is of little use when the fate of our realm is at stake, Lord Serenoa. Are you content to spend the rest of your life in servitude to another?
Not another word, Benedict. Roland is more than my king. He is my friend.
And you are Lord of House Wolfort, whose military prowess is known to all Norzelia. Not the guard dog of Glenbrook and Hyzant. What else are you here to do, if not to protect your house and keep its banner aloft? But you have the potential for so much more. All Norzelia could be yours if you but desired it.
Treason, if not outright regicide. These are your suggestions.
Of course not. The blood in your veins and the royal family's ring are claim enough to the throne. There is no need for violence.
I told you not to speak of that again.
But you did not tell me to forget. The time to reckon with your lineage draws near. You must make a...
I've heard enough. Leave me.
Just know that I will do anything you ask of me, Lord Serenoa. I pray that you make the right choice, not only for House Wolfort, but for yourself.
For myself. Once again, House Wolfort stands before three diverging paths. The time has come to lay their convictions bare before the scales and make their greatest decision yet.
You are certain Hyzan's army marches for the Grand Norzelian mines?
There is no doubt.
They've heard word of the crystals.
It was only a matter of time. We knew this.
Esfrost's army gathers at Twinsgate as well.
War's breaking out over this thing, and we've got to be ready.
How will Glenbrook respond, King Roland?
There's no need to prepare for war. I have decided that we will surrender the salt crystals to the holy state of Hyzant.
What?
Furthermore, I hereby declare that the kingdom of Glenbrook and its people shall submit to the goddess and her teachings. There is no way to bring happiness to all Norzelia with the salt crystals. Which is why I have chosen a path that will allow the greatest number of people to live in equality and harmony.
How could you? Do you not see that Hyzant's dominion over Norzelia's salt is why we are in conflict already? Is the suffering of the Rosal not proof enough that the goddess's vaunted equality is a lie?
She speaks the truth, my king. Handing over the salt crystals is tantamount to giving Hyzant's goddess free reign of Norzelia. Will you so readily surrender the realm to the Hierophant?
I acknowledge the abdication of my kingdom and kingship alike. A small price to pay in my eyes, in exchange for the security and prosperity of the many.
And the sacrifice of the Rosal, is that a small price to you?
It is.
How could you say such a thing to my face?
I, for one, oppose. I would prefer to ally with Esfrost and strike back at Hyzant. The salt deposits within the mines give us the leverage we need to convince Gustadolf to join us.
Ally with Esfrost? You dare suggest we ally with the man who murdered my father?
I see no reason why we should not. You proposed abdicating the throne for the sake of the kingdom and its people. So you should have no trouble putting aside your own feelings and judging this matter dispassionately.
I cannot believe my own ears. I will not have you lecture me on feelings when it is not your father he murdered!
None of you can see beyond your own grievances. It's no wonder my people have suffered for generations. We're told to believe in the goddess, while our own lives are thrown away to make a few more grains of your precious salt. And now, even with proof that the goddess is a lie, you would watch us dig our own graves for your comfort.
Lady Frederica, please. We shall speak of the Roselle in due time.
No, I've heard that before. Your due time is never, and I will not have you cast us aside for another 3 decades or more. All else is in disarray. If Hyzant seizes the salt crystals, we forfeit the best opportunity in decades to free my people. We know the truth. We must act upon it. We must be a light in the darkness.
We cannot afford to dilute our forces when the enemy marches on us as we speak.
So we are a distraction to you?
I am merely being rational. Liberating the Roselle would be extremely dangerous. We cannot take such a risk. Suppose we succeed. How do you propose we fend off the fury Hyzant will rain down upon us?
Esfrost would pounce on us, sensing weakness at the undue burden we've taken upon ourselves.
Precisely. We would be without allies and ripe for the taking.
There is another way.
And what, pray tell, would that be?
We set out alongside the Roselle in search of Centralia.
Centralia is a myth.
The legends of my people are true.
I care not one whit if they are. I will hear no talk of forsaking the Wolfort domain.
Silence! I have heard enough to know where each of you stand. Do you all hold the courage of your own convictions?
I do.
Nothing I've heard here has swayed me.
I feel the same.
Very well. I would ask for some time to think on the matter.
And so, we find ourselves here.
I understand each of you keenly, my friends. You have not arrived at these decisions lightly, and I do not doubt your convictions.
If you have kind of been realizing already, if you haven't, this is new.
Yet choosing any of the options before me risks creating a schism among the others. I cannot afford to lose any of you. Not after how far we've come. Which leaves me only one option.
There must be another way.
Nay, I mustn't give in so readily. There must be another way. One that will bind us together, not tear us asunder. Now then.
To find it.
To find it. Certainties first. We cannot afford to relinquish control of the salt crystals to any one nation. Salt necessarily belongs to the people, and on that point I shall not waver. There must be a way to bring about the lasting peace Roland desires without the need for Hyzant's warped teachings. Hyzant moves to take the Grand Norzelian mines as I contemplate this. It must be stopped. They will no doubt make an ostentatious show of power in an attempt to intimidate us. What's worse, they'll soon be at our door, and we'll not defeat them with our army alone. Surely there's a way we can hold them off.
We shall greet them with the Wolfort Domain's wildfire, only obtainable if you never use the traps. This is obtained by selecting the utility route of Chapter 7, or going with, I think it's called the Liberty, the Morality route of Chapter 7, and then not using a single trap against Avlora.
The wildfire, of course, will draw them into the village and set the vast majority of their forces alight. The Hierophant will never relent, however. Hyzant will bear down on us with the full force of their army. We've no chance of winning a protracted war. Hyzant must fall, and quickly. We need Esfrost. We need the Death Snell. 'Tis the only way we'll pierce the goddess's shield. I hardly relish the thought of asking Gustadolf to come to our aid. He'll no doubt demand the salt crystals in return. Who might help us get our hands on that weapon?
Might Lord Svarog be the key? After all, in the morality route of Chapter 10's utility route, he swore to fight alongside us.
Lord Svarog, yes. He swore to fight alongside us. It's time he made good on his word. We share a common enemy in Gustadolf. He'll be a boon. There is still the matter of how we invade Hyzant and incite the Roselle to rebel.
We can expose the truth hidden within the goddess's statue. This is learned from the legend of Frederica's mother in the book. We didn't actually see this in this specific route, but as you will know, the crystal, the salt crystal inside the Rosellan village, is a fragment of a pillar that is in the statue itself.
Yes, we'll blast away the statue and reveal Hyzant's lies for all to see. If the Rosellan legends are true, an enormous pillar of salt rests within the goddess's statue. Revealing that will prove that the Roselle spoke truth all these years. Goddess and Hierophant alike will lose all claim to authority, leaving them open to a revolt from a united Roselle. And now we have the means to make the explosives that will bring Hyzant to its knees. just one problem remains. How will we manage to pass through the goddess's shield? No banner could pass into Hyzant without arousing suspicion. Unless...
Going way back from the morality ending, we're going to be getting the Consortium's help in getting back into into Hyzant, as we did in the morality ending of this game.
Unless they've no banner at all. The Consortium, of course. One glimpse of the salt crystals ought to bring Claris to the table. So long as I play to his self-interest, the rest will follow.
God, it's such a...
I have it. I've found a way to give everyone what they want most in one fell swoop. The salt crystals will belong to all, and not just a privileged few. The people of Norzelia will finally be lords and ladies of their own making, masters of their own destinies. Benedict's fervent desire to protect the domain's integrity, Roland's yearning for equity, Frederica's resolve to free her people. I hear you all, my friends. You're not alone. Nor are the countless others who look to me at this late hour. If ever there were a time to heed my father's last words, it is now. I must forge my own path and lead my people. The scales cannot save us this time. The words of my closest confidants have revealed a way forward that the scales never could. All that remains is to convince them to follow me down the path I have made. As Lord of House Wolford, I solemnly swear an oath by which all future lords shall be bound.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the conviction route.
I will never turn my back on the promise of a better world.
My favorite line in the whole game. That is such a good line. So, this is it. Welcome to the Serenoa ending, or the Serenoa endgame as it is referred to. This is also referred to as the conviction route. To do this, you have to follow the exact pathway that we took earlier. I mentioned every single thing that you needed to do to clear it. And when doing so, you will unlock this extended length cutscene where Serenoa puts the pieces of a plan together. With that said, we are in the end game. We are in the end game once and for all. Oh, I'm excited. And it gets better from here. Here we are. We're back on the map.
Thus did Serenoa ascertain the Scale's true purpose. Taking up the mantle of his late father, Lord Simone, and the ill-fated Dragan, Serenoa returns to present his allies with a bold new vision for Norzelia's future.
I am excited. I love this. Chapter 17, Part 2. Dreams of Aspiration, I believe is what it was referred to. I didn't actually read it in time. Sorry. So yeah, we actually have Chapter 17, Part 2. I'm excited. 70 episodes in. And let's present the bold new vision for Norzelia.
I've made up my mind. We turn the salt crystals over to no one, but we do not keep them for ourselves. Instead, we distribute them equally to every person across Norzelia and change the face of the continent.
Do you hear yourself?
Do you mean this sincerely, Serenoa?
What of the Roselle?
I speak my conscience, and I promise I have not forgotten the Roselle. Pray, grant me the time to explain my strategy. We must put an end to the teachings if we are to release the salt to all Norzelians. Which is to say, the holy state of Hyzant must fall.
So we are to take up Benedict's proposal?
No. I propose we attack on 3 separate fronts.
At the same time?
We will use our domain's wildfire to prevent Hyzant from capturing the mines. Meanwhile, I wish to negotiate an accord with Esfrost that affords us use of the Death Snow. I know full well the risks involved. However, I believe we can convince Svarog, who opposes the Archduke, that an alliance is worthwhile. Finally, we expose the falsehoods that prop up Hyzant's precious teachings and incite another Rosellan uprising. In one fell swoop, we can abase the Hierophant and throw the capital into chaos. That accomplished, we shall sack the Holy State with Esfrost at our side. With both the source and the crystals in our possession, no one in Norzelia will ever want for salt. We can bring peace, equity, and stability to all Norzelia, just as Roland envisioned. We can restore the Wolfort name to its former glory and usher it into a new era, as Benedict desires. An era, my dear Frederica, in which the Roselle shall be free once and for all. What I ask may sound impossible, but we have survived long odds before. Let us cling together and do so once again. Do any present have objections to the path I have set before us?
Wow. Who else but Eridor?
None for me,
First
lad.
on board.
You've quickened the very blood in my veins.
Permit me to speak plainly, Your Majesty. I am in agreement with Lord Serenoa.
We cannot dream our desires into reality. Some things must be fought for and won.
We've tried your way, Benedict. It's time we tried something new.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you, Jill.
What say
Thank
you
you,
three?
Huet, and thank you, Eridor.
I am ashamed to admit that my obsession with the domain's safety may have blinded me to more aggressive solutions. Your plan is audacious, perhaps even reckless, but it is not impossible and may well be worth the risk. House Wolford is better for having you at its helm, Lord Serenoa.
The fate of my people always felt so small compared to the war raging around us. Yet you would still choose to walk a dangerous path rather than cast the Roselle aside. It would be my honor to fight alongside you and see this through.
I honestly thought Hyzant would rule better than I could. That they would bring prosperity to Norzelia. I shrank from my duties and lost myself to the idea of revenge upon Gustadolf. I may well have betrayed my own kingdom. But you, Serenoa, opened my eyes to the truth. And for you, my friend, as King of Glenbrook, I shall face any enemy and lead our people to glory.
Then we've no need of the scales. Our path is decided. From here on out, we shall split into 3 regiments. Allow me to explain the role each has to play.
So, with that, we have
I pray
planned
that
out.
clarifies what each regiment needs do. Prolonging the war risks slowly driving the 3 kingdoms to ruin, starving their people in the process. Not to mention, all involved will lose sight of what they were fighting for, if they haven't already.
Agreed. 'Tis for the good of all if we bring it to a swift and decisive end.
And so we find ourselves contemplating war on 3 fronts.
Hyzant and Esfrost aren't expecting such drastic action from us. The element of surprise may deliver us victory.
As will the leader of each regiment involved in this gambit.
I shall lure the Hyzantian army to their doom here at Castle Wolfort.
Svarog knows who I am, and swore he would fight alongside me. I shall depart for Esfrost and hold him to his word.
Pray, let me be the one to journey to Hyzant. I would love nothing more than to expose their false idol for all to see and lead my people to rebel in the name of freedom.
Then I shall secure the help of Claris of the Consortium in exchange for information about the salt crystals. He can secret you inside the capital and provide you with explosives enough to fell the goddess. Though we fight on distant fronts, we are bound together in spirit. We fight to the last for Norzelia!
For Norzelia!
Woohoo! But we have one last plot thread that needs to be fixed. And who else comes back for the final round then of Laura?
It can't be. General Avlora? Of the Asfrosti army?
Former General, I come to you now as a citizen of Norzelia, nothing more. I come to House Wolfort in search of sanctuary. I beg you, have the mercy to take me in.
So,
Wait here.
might have been lying about Avlora's death in chapter 14.
General Avlora, we thought you missing.
Indeed, it was your actions that caused my brief disappearance, though I bear no grudge for how the battle ended. This time, however, I come to you with a humble request. I wish to join your ranks, if you'll have
And she is the 30th playable character.
Wish to defect? To what end?
that we may bring this fraught and fractious chapter of Norzelia's history to a close. I would see those of Lady Cordelia's generation preside over an era of peace and tranquility. You've every right to doubt me when I say Lady Cordelia has touched me. But I swore to be her sword forevermore, not Esfrost's.
We have long been enemies. You've taken much from us in Esfrost's name. I know you to be many things, General Avlora, but a schemer and a liar are not among them. I trust that you speak true, and your talk of a swift end to this conflict appeals to me. We are of the same mind.
My lord.
Nevertheless, there remains bad blood between us. There may be some within our ranks who are less than pleased to see you.
Roland. I love that. I love that. Everyone just looks at Roland.
I expect there will be. I understand their hurt, and have made my peace with it. I will suffer their slings and arrows gladly, if it means bringing peace to Norzelia.
I admire your conviction. In truth, we have already arrived at our decision. Your strength is a boon we can neither hope to replicate nor replace. I welcome you, General Avlora, to House Wolfort.
My sword is yours, Lord Serenoa.
Oh, it's... Finally! God damn it, we have them all. The 30th and final playable character, Avlora herself, only is playable on the golden route of the game. She is not unlockable in any other way. And she finishes the entire character roster. She is a fierce fighter with lots of high damaging skills that come at the cost of her own health. She's designed to allow you to low man one of these chapters, but...
Now, Serenoa, let us divide House Wolfort into 3 regiments.
She looks so weird sitting next to
I
us.
leave the allocation of forces in your capable hands.
Choose wisely. Once the plan is in motion, we won't have the luxury of adjusting our strategy.
Indeed.
Understood.
So we have 27 playable characters. 27 souls. And I have planned out the 3 lists. Now, there are 2 ways to do this. The first way is to go with the team comps that you think work the best. I have gone with the characters that I think best fit their location. All units will now be divided into 3 separate regiments. Each regiment will fight its own individual battle. Each regiment consists of 9 playable characters, making up for a full list of 30. I will be putting a certain list of characters together, going from top to bottom. So let's start with Benedict's regime. Benedict is getting the majority of the forces from the encampment, as well as all of retainers, including one Serenoa. The regiment that I have for him is... I'm actually going to put them in order. We have Serenoa, Anna. Where is Anna? There's Anna. Eridor, Julio. Where is Julio? That's going to be a lot of me saying where is Julio. There's Julio. Hasabara. There she is. Lionel. Lionel's already here. I'll just put him right there. Ian's is going to be in Benedict's regime. Then I'm going to have both Trish and Travis, and that is the full list. That is Benedict's regime in its entirety. For Roland's regime, I want Huette. Huette, I want Maxwell, Avlora, Cordelia. We're going to get from her sister. We're going to get Flanagan. Oh, well, let me put Cordelia where she actually should be. There's Cordelia. We're going to get Flanagan, former soldier of Esfrost. We're going to get Rudolph, former thief in Esfrost. Then we're going to get Groma, former general in Esfrost. Giovanna, researcher from Esfrost. And Piccoletta, whose circus master worked in Esfrost. Frederica's regime consists of her loyal tutor, Gila. Quahog, for his home country of Hyzant, and the fact that he is Lila's son. Decimal, for his place as a prototype of the Hierophant. Izana, homeborn in Hyzant, had to flee from it. Medina and Corentin, both individuals that worked as staff members of Hyzant, then fleeing. Archibald, former member of the Saintly Seven. Milo, former spy from Hyzant. And Narv, his grandfather was absconded by Hyzant. These will be the teams we bring. We have 3 regiments. We've got basically everyone that could reasonably hate the kingdom. Or not the kingdom, the duchy. Everybody who was loyal to the Wolford domain, and everyone who reasonably hates Hyzant now. All 30 playable characters, every single one. I actually want to look at some real quick. I can't pull her up. So this is Avlora. She is a very powerful unit. I will probably immediately promote her to a great general when we get to Roland's encampment. But yeah, and it's also worth pointing out that Serenoa is not actually a mandatory unit for any single one of these. I don't know if you can kick people out, but you can move them around. With that said, we are going to leave it here. The regiments have been decided. The soldiers are prepared. We have 30 max level units, and Avlora will probably get a new promotion after this, being the last promotable unit in the game. Until then, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter if that's something you care for. Join Lava's Museum. It's a Discord server. You can talk to me and my friends and see all the cool videos I posted, just like this one. And above all else, have a wonderful day. I will see you all in the next video. Bye, guys.